फूड स्टफ्स को निकालना पड़ता है, फूड पार्टिकल्स आर रिमूव्ड। घर में भी अगर डिश वॉशर यूज करो तो पहले आपको फूड स्टफ निकालना पड़ेगा, फिर डिश वॉशर में डालना है। सो इट इज द रेजिड्यू फ्रॉम मैनुअल और ऑटोमेटिक वॉशिंग ऑफ डिशेस and cooking utensils which have been pre-cleaned so that there are no food particles sticking to it. Grey water. Grey water is basically drainage from dishwasher, shower, laundry, bath, wash basin. But toilet, urinal, hospital, animal spaces का black water है which is sewage. So that is not considered in grey water. So grey water is not considered garbage in the context of Annex 5. Recycling means activity of segregating and recovering components and material for reprocessing. Reuse means activity of recovering components and materials for further use without reprocessing. उसको दोबारा यूज कर लिया धो के, जो आजकल कर रहे हैं। आजकल वो वीडियोज आए थे कि यूज ग्लव्स को धो धा के पैक करके वापस बेच रहे हैं। कोरोना पेशेंट्स के सारे ग्लव्स और ये सब को धो धा के वापस रीयूज कर रहे हैं। सो एक्चुअली रीयूज नहीं कर, सिरिंजेस को रीयूज कर रहे हैं। सो दैट इज नॉट सपोज्ड टू बी रीयूज्ड। Ash and clinkers from shipboard incinerators and coal burning boilers should be considered as operational waste. तो जो भी ash and clinker है इंसिनरेटर में, तो जो बच जाता है उसको हम operational waste कहते हैं. And therefore, this is included in garbage within the meaning of MARPOL Annex 5. Now, definition of operational waste will not include grey water, bilge water, or similar discharges. Other similar discharges जो definitions में आते हैं, they will be boiler, economizer, blow down, boat engine, wet exhaust, chain locker effluent, chain locker का जो discharge है, and you have controllable pitch propeller and thruster. So the hydraulic fluid and other oil to sea interfaces, that is also operational. Other discharges, other similar discharges. Then your distillation, reverse osmosis, brine. Brine is salt water. That is also considered as other similar discharges. Elevator pit effluent. जो elevators हैं जो आपके रो vessels में, तो उसके नीचे जो जगह है उसमें जो पानी इकट्ठा हो गया, so that is effluent. Fireman system water. That is other similar discharges. Gas turbine wash water, motor gasoline compensating discharge, machinery wastewater, स्विमिंग पूल, स्पा वाटर, रिक्रिएशनल वाटर को भी अदर सिमिलर डिस्चार्जेस लेंगे. सोनार डोम जो नीचे लगाया हुआ है फॉर सोनार वेव्स, दैट डोम डिस्चार्ज इज आल्सो अदर सिमिलर डिस्चार्जेस. While cleaning agents and additives contained in hold, wash water and deck external surface, wash water are considered operational waste and thus garbage under Annex 5. These cleaning agents and additives may be discharged as long they are non-HME. ये हमने already discharge criteria में पढ़ा हुआ है. Now, Port State Control is going to come on board for checking if you are complying with your MARPOL, ISM, ISPS, MSC, with your SOLAS. All these requirements will be checked by an STCW, an MLC. उसको check करेगी आपकी Port State Control. So every MARPOL will be checked, regulations will be checked by the PSC. You have to adhere to it. So here, Port State Control officers can inspect a foreign flag ship at the port or offshore terminal where there is a clear ground. Clear ground का मतलब है when you are not complying with your code, so they have a clear ground for detailed inspection. For example, Port State Control का इंस्पेक्टर जहाज पे आया और he is taking a round. Now on the round he has seen that लिखा है fire control plan box लिखा हुआ है. Now he opens the box of the fire control plan और उसमें plan ही नहीं है. So he'll give you clear grounds for detailed inspection, then they'll inspect all the other things and hold the ship till you are correcting it. फिर दूसरा आप डेविड पे गया, डेविड पे देखा कि वो ग्रीजिंग पॉइंट सब फ्रोजन है डेबिट्स का. So he'll give clear ground for detailed inspection. Plus अगर he asks any crew कि भाई you know how to lower life boat, वो बोलते हमने तो बोट ड्रिल ही नहीं की है, तो गई भैंस पानी में, उसमें हो गया क्लियर ग्राउंड. सेकंड ऑफिसर को पूछ लिया भाई एग्जिट चालू करना आता है, कहता ना मुझे तो पता ही नहीं, चलो वो हो गया क्लियर ग्राउंड. सो ऑल दीज थिंग्स. थर्ड ऑफिसर को पूछा गार्बेज कंट्रोल मालूम है, कहता कौन सा गार्बेज कंट्रोल, हमें तो मालूम ही नहीं है. सो ऑल दिस विल गिव यू क्लियर ग्राउंड. प्ले कार्ड. So they require a play card for every ship of 12 meters and over length. So and fixed or floating platforms, they have supposed to display play cards notifying your passengers कि यहाँ आप वेट वाले कर सकते हैं, इस बिन में वो वाला डिस्चार्ज कर सकते हैं. So that will be mentioned in the play card. So the play card should be written in working language of ship's crew and also in English, French and Spanish, so that your passengers can understand. Now, garbage management plan, बहुत बार question आ चुका है, what is garbage management plan? So it is required for ships of 100 gross tonnage and above. Every ship is certified to carry 15 persons or more, and for ships of 100 gross tonnage and above, and for every fixed and floating platform, they are supposed to have garbage management plan. So in your plan, you will have written procedures, how to minimize your garbage throwing around, how to minimize garbage on board, how to collect garbage, how to store garbage, how to process it, how to dispose garbage, including how to use the equipment for garbage collection. So इसमें एक designated person will be responsible for the garbage management plan and should be written in working language of the crew. So MEPC circular will provide the guidelines for development of garbage management plan. So what will be a garbage management plan? It's an approved, that is a flag state approves the garbage management plan, जिसमें ship के detail आएंगे. Overview of Annex 5. So that will be your discharge criteria of Annex 5 will come. List of equipment for handling garbage on ship, which are the placards to be posted for disposal criteria. What kind of possible local recycling arrangements are there on board? What are the written procedures for collecting garbage? How do you segregate garbage? That is, जैसे आपका ग्रीन और ब्लू वाला शोर पे रखा जाता है, वैसे ही शिप पे अलग अलग गार्बेज कैंस रखे जाते हैं फॉर separating garbage or segregating garbage. What are the processing methods available on board? What are the storing methods there? Where is the garbage station? All will be given in your garbage management plan. What are the disposal methods there? What will be the entry made in garbage record book? What are the emergency and accidental discharge criteria? What are the needs for reception facility? Identify the available operating and maintenance procedure for collecting equipments, for collection equipments on board. What is the training and educational program so that you know how to segregate garbage, how to process garbage, how to make entry in the garbage record book. Then you locate your garbage collection points. कि किस डेक में कौन सा पॉइंट है. So garbage management plan mandatory है for ships over 100 gross tonnage and above, and on ships which are certified to carry. Suppose से कम छोटा जहाज है और इसमें 15 से ज़्यादा लोग हैं, then also you'll require GMP. So it is written in the working language of crew, and this has to be retained on board as record for 2 years from the date of last entry. So a responsible officer should be in charge of maintaining garbage management plan. Normally chief officer responsible along with second engineer. So यहाँ disposal plan है, चलो ये वाला करते हैं. Now this is your ship. ये garbage management plan में ये flow chart बनाना पड़ेगा. So this is ship generated garbage. You are collecting and separating it. This is ocean disposable garbage which you can dispose of as per your discharge criteria. And this is non-disposal, जिसको shore को देना. So ocean disposable garbage को process करना है कि नहीं करना? No processing. अगर वो food product है तो you have to pass it through grinder and comminutor. And then you are authorized to discharge at sea or not. तो अगर वो डिस्चार्ज ऑथराइज है तो डिस्चार्ज कर लो, अगर नो है तो फिर आप शोर रिसेप्शन फैसिलिटी को दोगे या डिस्चार्ज करोगे शोर रिसेप्शन फैसिलिटी को, या आप इंसिनरेटर के थ्रू करोगे एक्सेप्ट प्लास्टिक प्रोडक्ट्स क्योंकि इसमें टॉक्सिक एंड हेवी मेटल होगा. अगर उसको कंपैक्ट कर रहे हो गार्बेज को तो कंपैक्ट करके ऑथराइज कर सकते हो, नहीं कर सकते तो उसको शोर को दोगे या तो अब इंसिनरेटर में जला दोगे अगर अलाउड है तो. अब आता है कि नॉन डिस्पोजल गार्बेज का क्या करोगे? नो प्रोसेसिंग तो पोर्ट रिसेप्शन फैसिलिटी में जाएगा स्टरलाइजेशन और इंसिनरेशन का, या तो लैंडफिल में जाएगा या रिसाइकलिंग प्रोग्राम में जाएगा शोर पे. सिमिलरली नॉन ओशन डिस्पोजेबल इंसिनरेटर में जाके अगेन इट कैन गो फॉर ऑल द थ्री, या कंपैक्ट करके अगेन शोर में जाएगा या ग्राइंड करके शोर में जाएगा. तो ये आपको फ्लो चार्ट बनाना पड़ेगा इन द गार्बेज मैनेजमेंट प्लान. तो ये गार्बेज मैनेजमेंट प्लान है. अब आपको जरा, अब ये जैसे ये बनाया हुआ है इज द कार्गो प्लास्टिक और कुकिंग ऑयल, तो हमने कहा नो, तो इनका कोड है, इसको मीट किया कि नहीं, या उसका डाटा अवेलेबल है कि नहीं, या उस क्राइटेरिया से गए तो क्राइटेरिया में कह दिया भाई HME है तो शोर पे देना है, नॉन HME है देन यू विल गो एज पर द डिस्चार्ज क्राइटेरिया. सो अगर आपका कार्गो प्रोहिबिटेड HME है तो शोर को देना है. अगर उसमें क्राइटेरिया दिया हुआ है तो ये बल्क कार्गोज के लिए शिप ओनरशिप डिक्लेरेशन देना पड़ेगा एक्सक्लूडिंग ग्रेन. अब आता है गार्बेज रिकॉर्ड बुक. चलो पहले आपको इसका गार्बेज मैनेजमेंट प्लान आपको दिखा दें. चल पहले इसको आपको यही कंप्लीट करते हैं फिर ये सब दिखाएंगे. सो हियर यू हैव टू, आपका गार्बेज मैनेजमेंट प्लान वाज 100 के ऊपर, 100 and above gross tonnage and above, but garbage record book is 400 gross tonnage and above, and every ship certified to carry 15 persons or more in voyages to port and offshore terminals. GMP was also for 15 persons and more. तो इसमें आपको सारा रिकॉर्डिंग करना पड़ेगा कि आप कहाँ शोर पे डिस्पोजल कर रहे हो या शिप सी में कर रहे हो, कितनी क्वांटिटी कर रहे हो, कैसे कर रहे हो. फूड प्रोडक्ट कर रहे हो तो कम्युनिटर के थ्रू कर रहे हो कि नहीं कर रहे हो, कितनी दूर है लैंड से, एवरीथिंग यू हैव टू एंटर. या इंसिनरेशन ऑपरेशंस के बारे में लिखना पड़ेगा, जला रहे हो. सो द डेट, time, position of the ship, description of garbage and estimate amount of incinerated or discharge must be logged and signed. The garbage record book must be kept for a period of 2 years after the date of last entry. So it should be kept for 2 years after the date of last entry. And this regulation does not itself impose stricter regulation requirements, but it makes it easier to check the regulation on garbage are being adhered to, as it means ship's personnel must keep track of the garbage and वो कहाँ गया है. Because PSC आपको पूछ सकता है कि कहाँ garbage गया और आपने रिकॉर्ड नहीं किया, then he can give clear grounds and detailed inspection हो जाएगा. So it can also prove an advantage to ship because your local officials are checking the origin of discharge garbage. And when you made your record, then you have a proof. Otherwise, you will be wrongly penalized for it. तो आपका दो टाइप का गार्बेज रिकॉर्ड बुक है, पार्ट 1 एंड पार्ट 2. पार्ट 1 आपका जनरल है, पार्ट 2 जो है दैट इज फॉर सॉलिड बल्क कार्गोज, बल्क कैरियर में काम आता है। सो इसमें अगर आप देखो, you have name of the ship, distinguished number, IMO number, period, is it sailing in polar waters or not. Similarly in vessels carrying solid bulk cargoes. Now regarding your cargo residues, they are defined as remnants of any cargo that is not covered by other annexes and which remain on deck and holds following loading or unloading. So they include loading and unloading excess or spillage. जैसे अगर लोड कर गया तो डेक पे गिर गया थोड़ा, तो दैट इज एक्सेस और स्पिलेज वेदर वेट और ड्राई, और एंट्रेन्ड इन वॉश वाटर, मतलब वॉश वाटर में चला गया। बट जैसे अगर आपने झाड़ू मार दिया और जो डस्ट रह गया उसको हम कार्गो रेसिड्यू नहीं मारेंगे। जो ग्रैब से गिर गया दैट विल बी कार्गो रेसिड्यू। So cargo residues will be classified as HME or harmful to marine environment, which must not be discharged to sea. So they have to be given to the shore reception facility. So the Annex established different requirements depending on whether they are contained in wash water or not. So solid bulk cargoes must be classified and declared to the shipper as to whether or not they are harmful to the marine environment, and the criteria as per Appendix 1 of MARPOL Annex 5. अब आता है शिप बोर्ड में जो जलाने के लिए इंसिनरेटर है, that will cover the design, manufacture, performance, operation, testing of this when you want to burn the garbage and shipboard waste. And then you have chapter 2 of MARPOL Annex 5 where you have verification of compliance. So in the verification of compliance, your IMO member states will audit your ship and see whether you are going as per the requirements of Annex 5. So mandatory IMSAS, that is IMO member state audit scheme में, IMO members will appoint some of the IMO country guys to inspect your ship when you are in that country. Now in the polar regions, they have to comply with strict environmental provisions for harsh conditions of polar waters, that is Arctic and Antarctic. So you will have the requirements where you cannot dump waste. तो अभी आपको जरा ये दिखा के then I'll show you a video. Garbage management plan देखें, and then we'll do. I'll show you a video. Now you have the ship's particular, the introduction, ये contents of garbage management plan है। कई बार पूछ लेते हैं what are the contents of garbage management plan, तो उसमें ship's particular, introduction, record of crew familiarization with the procedures, record of amendments, regulatory requirements, which is your garbage management plan, play cards and garbage record books, prevention of pollution from garbage, which is minimization of waste generation. ये कहाँ से आया? सेफ्टी पेपर चेक कर रही है, आ गया बीच में, एक सेकेंड। Then your shipboard garbage handling, exceptions for discharge of garbage. Then matters addressed in GMP will be who's a designated person, what are the procedures of collection of garbage, which will include plastic and plastic mixed with non-plastic garbage, food waste, synthetic fishing net, line scraps, other garbage, recovery of garbage at sea. How do you process your garbage? Grinders or compactors or incinerators, and then treatment of animals in cattle carriers, management of cargo residues of solid bulk cargoes, wash water, procedures for storing garbage and reusable or recyclable material, procedures for discharge of garbage, discharge of animal and fish carcasses, discharge of cargo residues and solid bulk cargoes. And then you'll appendix, the training also will be there. Form of garbage record book, record of garbage discharges, training record, definitions, inadequacy of port reception, and sample play card. So this all will be there in your garbage record book. ये पूरा बनाया हुआ है, आपको contents बता दिए और ये सारी चीजें होंगी इसमें. ठीक है, तो all this thing will be there.
Garbage management plan is my second video on MARPOL Annex 5. The first was garbage record book. Annex 5, Regulation 10.2, the full regulation of the MARPOL is quoted word by word. Please look into the last sentence. They say that the garbage management plan has to be developed as per MEPC 7138, MEPC Circular 37, and it has to be made or written in the working language of the group. The general index of the plan is just given for example or sample. These are what the titles of the topics are going to be. This will change depending on type of ship, the run of the ship, and the company procedures and the audit requirements. Also, as per any changes which are coming up with MARPOL. In the title page, the record of revision has to be there. The title page should have the company logo, name, and the name of the ship. Then it has to highlight if the ship is sailing in polar region or not. In case of bulk, if she carries bulk cargo, from which date the plan is effective, any revisions which are coming as per the page, date, and remark, if this is required for audit purpose. The objective of the garbage management plan is systematic planning to control the garbage, the guidelines for the implementation, also the collection, storage, processing, and discharge of generated garbage. Then the designated person on board with the responsibility for execution of the garbage management plan. All garbage requirement not to be thrown in the sea, except here garbage which is considered to be harmful to marine environment is permitted to be discharged. How to be discharged? Other garbage is mentioned. The exceptions are always there, especially for the safety of the ship. Accidental loss of garbage, and third is in case we have to retain the food, that can create an imminent health risk, so we need to discharge that, especially when the vessel is near the coast at anchorage. Treatment is carried out. Let us go into the detail of the treatment. All plastic items, including material plastic, to be either it has landed to shore or incinerated. In case you have an incinerator, the incinerator should very clearly mention whether it can incinerate. Non-IAPP approved incinerator is there, then you have to check whether all plastics can be incinerated. Over. And then only it can be thrown, or it can through the communicator, and then it will go overboard, or has to go after 12 miles. In case of areas, even if you're passing through the commutator, it has to be away from 12 nautical miles to the nearest land. Okay. A person who is operating the commutator has to be careful that the ship is not rolling in rough seas, and he has to be careful regarding the safety. Category C is domestic waste. Class part medicine and other medical waste. These which do not contain chemical, or it did not have chemical, that is coming in domestic waste, and it is clearly mentioned they have to be recycled. The sign of recycle is also shown, which means that they have to be sent ashore for recycling. In case you find this sign, that means it has to be sent for recycling. Cooking oil has to be either sent ashore or incinerated, that is burned. In case we are incinerating, then it has to be soaked in the oily rags and then burned. Category E is incinerator ash. After the incineration, it has to be put, and we have to put a lid. We have to keep in a case which has got a fire detector. Next is the clinker ash, that is the coal ash, is not to be included with other ash which is being burnt, and it has to be landed ashore separately. Category F. This is operational waste. These are different. The operational waste are containing some sort of chemicals, paints, lubes, which are harmful to the sea. Even if they are empty, they have to be kept separately and landed ashore. For example, the glass bottles, the can drums for chemicals and planes, the welding rods, paint drums, glass wool, pyrotechnics, the furniture, oily rags, and ragger tubes. These are just the example. Also, please refer to the company manual. The next comes is the cleaning agent, which is coming again in category F, and it is in the part of the operational waste. It can be discharged, this cleaning agent which is there for cleaning the hold, the deck, the external surface. It can only be discharged when the marine environment is not harmful, and then the producer or the agent has to supply a certificate stating that this is not harmful to the marine environment. The record of this document or statement has to be preserved and kept for next 2 years for audit purpose. This cleaning has to be done while the vessel is en route and as far as practicable from the nearest land. Exemptions with the water is the grey water, the bilge water, the water from the chain locker, fire main system water, freshwater layup, machinery waste water, pool, recreation water, and any other similar discharges essential to be operational on the ship. They can be pumped overboard. Animal carcasses is category G. This is applied on cattle carrier, not for other ships. But in case on other ships they find a dead bird or a fish, try and throw it once the vessel is more than 100 nautical miles or as instructed in your company manual, but not in special area. Fishing nets applies to fishing vessels, but in case we find nets, please treat them as plastic, especially in case they are plastic nets. They have to be landed ashore. You will get plastic nets while heaving up anchor, or in case you're cleaning up the rudder and propeller, there will be a lot of plastic which will be coming up. Please ensure that this is landed ashore. Category I is e-waste, electrical equipment, broken device, printers, batteries, fluorescent lamp, light bulbs. This has to be sent only to shore and they have to be stored properly. The next slide, which is giving special areas, and the special areas as per the map is North Sea, Baltic Sea, Black Sea, Gulf areas, Persian Gulf, Red Sea, Mediterranean Sea, wider Caribbean region, including the Gulf of Mexico and the Caribbean Sea. The Arctic area, I am not covering the polar code. They have special rules for that. How do the chief cook know that we are not in the special areas? It is normally marked on the chart and he has to ring up the bridge to check whether we are in the special area or not. And it is the duty of the navigator to inform him that we are in special areas, not to throw the food overboard. The next placard, which was also shown in my last video, is regarding how we treat the garbage, whether the disposal, what can be thrown overboard and what cannot be thrown overboard. It is for the ships, including the platforms, and you can go and double check. And such placards are mostly on all ships, and they give detail over storing and processing. The garbage management policy will inform how you are going to do the disposal of such food waste, retention till the ship has cleared a restricted area, compacting of reduction of space, especially for plastic, special attention for battery, chemical and medical waste, and recycling items, how they have to be landed. The next slide is storing of the garbage. The food waste to be sealed in airtight. It has to be disinfected and pest control to be carried out regularly. All garbage to be stored in the covered leak-proof container. It has got a liquid and it is seeping out. The port state control will have a remark or it can fine you for the same. Your containers have to be leak-proof. Oily rags are not to be kept in hot places, for example, incinerator or galley. The last but not the least, but very important, is the training. Every seafarer is getting training regarding garbage before joining. Once he comes on the ship, he has a complete look and he gets completely familiarized. What are his duties regarding the garbage? Especially for the operation of incinerator, the engineers need to be given training. In case the incinerator is non-IMO compliant, then the engineer has to be informed that certain plastics cannot be burned. The chief cook has to be given training for his equipments, and training is equally important. Thank you very much. I have covered most of the items in these two videos and I hope you like them. Thank you.